Modi's brutal treatment of Kashmir exposes his tactics and their flaws. Arundhati Roy. To view the full article, click the first link in the description below. Schools should be last to close and first to reopen in the event of a second wave of COVID-19, with regular testing for pupils and teachers to reassure parents and keep schools safe, according to the Children's Commissioner for England. And Longfield said children had too often been an afterthought during the crisis, but from now on they should be at the heart of planning for future coronavirus lockdowns, and she insisted pubs, restaurants and non-essential shops should be shut ahead of schools in the case of emergency restrictions. The Commissioner's intervention comes after a new modelling study found that if schools in England were to reopen safely in September, the government's test trace isolate strategy would have to be rapidly improved in order to avoid a second wave of COVID-19 later this year. There has also been growing unease among politicians that while most children had to study remotely during the course of the pandemic, other sections of society were allowed to open up for business. In a new briefing paper, Longfield says keeping schools open should be the absolute priority. When only a limited amount of social interaction is feasible, the amount accounted for by education must be protected at the expense of other sectors/activities. Acknowledging that remote learning will continue to play a role, the Commissioner called for expansion of the government's stuttering 85-meter scheme to provide laptops and 4G Wi-Fi routers to the most disadvantaged Year 10 pupils, to make them available to children in all year groups who still lack digital access. And in a worst-case scenario, the Commissioner said the attendance of children in nurseries and primary schools should be prioritized ahead of secondaries, in line with growing understanding about the limited impact of COVID among the youngest pupils and childcare implications for working parents. Too often during the first lockdown, children were an afterthought. Said to view the full article, click the first link in the description below.